We are joined by Michelle Schneider, Chief Strategist at MarketGauge.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Michelle.
Good morning, Andrew.
Commodities are catching your attention now.
Well, certain commodities, yeah. I think that just if we look at the ratio in general between commodities and equities, we're still at very historical lows. And so from a value play, there's one thing. In terms of the fundamentals, obviously, trade wars, we haven't really seen yet the tariff impact in terms of inflation and costs, although those of us who actually go shopping can actually already see that. For example, crazy little thing, we went to buy a printer cartridge, and it was up 50% in price because of tariffs. That's what they told us in the store. And that's just one thing. I mean, obviously not an essential. But the point is that lots of the stuff that looked like it was being left for dead is starting to wake up. Oil, of course, being classic. People thought it would never get back over $64 a barrel. Now it is. That's kind of a major breakout if it holds. That could send things higher. The gold and the silver, obviously gold coming off against the silver. So the silver has done well in performance compared to the peak. However, this $34 an ounce in silver was a huge breakout. And even if we can get some sort of a setback here, I don't think that will take out that $34. Soybeans looks like it's bottoming out here. Copper's been going up. Live cattle on all-time highs. So if you look around the board, we're not at a screaming inflation type of situation, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on given geopolitics, the tariffs, of course, the high debt, the spending, and the dollar, which is still under pressure.
Michelle, I was looking at some beef tenderloin in a supermarket here on the weekend, and I noticed the price per kilo was just under 100 Canadian dollars. And it wasn't like Wagyu or massage Kobe beef or something.
Right, I know. I mean, talk about shopping. I bought a ribeye, less than a pound, and it was $23.
Oh,
so, yeah,
goodness.
Things are crazy.
I think, yeah, meat has become a condiment now, I think. Let's get your view on precious metals, please. Do you see upside for gold here?
Well, it's all about, to me right now, the ratio. And considering the gold to silver, ratio peaked at 107, now trading at around 92, 91, that's a dramatic move in favor of silver compared to gold. And the reason why that's important is it doesn't necessarily mean negative for gold, but what it does mean, and from an inflation standpoint, those of us who are old enough to remember, silver outperformed in 1979, 1980 when we had that inflation start to creep up. So we're seeing these sort of discombobulated relationships between what equities are doing and what that's doing. Gold holding above 3,200 bottom line, I think is still very strong. As I said, silver $34. But you got to watch that ratio. We may be coming into some support here, so we may see gold take a pop. It's all going to be a matter of flight to safety. That's where gold will shine, or more inflationary industrial uses, maybe even a reflation type trade if silver continues to outperform gold here, or at least that ratio comes in.
Are you tempted by stocks in general now? Is it easy to find undervalued situations?
Well, yes. Let's look at the solar space, another area that was sort of left for dead. And if you look at SolarEdge, for example, that's one of our stocks we're watching right now. That has now basing out, even if you look at the ETF TAN basing out, some of the battery companies looking not too bad, Sunrun being one. So I think that would be an area to look at, especially if oil prices go up. Solar tends to follow that. I still really love, especially on dips, the vanity trade that you and I have talked about, that domino from diet drugs. That's been a high on my list. And I'm also, even though Tesla is in its own universe, I'm still looking at Rivian as a long-term play. So, if you're looking at things in the diet world like Novo Nordisk in terms of the drug company, and then that trickle effect, if you're looking at Match.com, which had a nice basing action, and Palantir, Peloton, and Planet Fitness, all the things that people will go to as they lose weight and keep it off, the new healthy lifestyle. I think that's still undervalued.
Michelle, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Michelle Schneider, Chief Strategist at marketgauge.com.